Make a hot cuppa and relax. It's Afternoon Karak with Aisha Al-Mazmi and Mikhail Atiyah
on Pulse 95.
First of all, I have been saying that it feels like it is still January. I wanted to inform you that today I have actually written... no, it was not today. It was yesterday or was it today? I believe, no, it was today this morning. I wrote December.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not even kidding.
On your notebook, on your...
Automatically, I was trying to send an email. I was like, December? No, it's not December. It's January. I'm like, nope, it's not January either. It's February.
It seems like this problem's deeper than we thought.
I've been trying to tell you this. You thought I was kidding when I said that I'm very behind, that I'm not comprehending that it is actually February. I'm not even accepting that it's 2021. Yes, we are in the second month of the year, but I refuse to comprehend it. It wasn't in my hands. I tried my best, but my brain said, nope, we're not. This is too hard for us. We're going to stick to wherever we are. But the problem is, I'm not even sure which day I am on because I was super convinced it was Tuesday today until I realized that no, today's Wednesday, and I've been telling myself throughout the entire day that today is Wednesday and tomorrow's Thursday. And then the weekend comes right after that and still is not comprehending. In my head, it is Tuesday and tomorrow is also Tuesday.
There's something about, I don't know, as you grow older, time just kind of passes faster than usual, and maybe just in your mental state, you're not able to catch up with just how fast life is rolling,
Absolutely.
I have to actually research what this condition is called. Maybe
it's called denial.
There has to be some kind of ism out there that explains what denialism is. That
there
even a word? Or?
No, I'm making up right now.
Okay, denialism exclusively here on the afternoon.
It's not even in my hands anymore. I told you I tried my bestest to join you guys back in January. I was a couple of days behind, and now look at this. I'm all the way back in December again.
Let's try to move forwardism. How about that?
Again, it's not in my hand. I'm trying. Yesterday I said I will try for everybody's sake, and look at what happened. It's Tuesday for the third day in the row. 3 days in a row it's been Tuesday in my head. And it's also been December now. It's not even January. By tomorrow, it might be November. I have no idea.
You certainly do need a vacation. Hint, hint.
Hint, hint. Somebody might be going off very soon. But let's keep that for later, you guys. Let's talk about what we're going to be talking about today, because we do have a lot to discuss, including the Oscars Shortlist. It's been announced in 9 categories, so it has officially begun. We might end up seeing lots of fights happening on Twitter, Instagram, the usual debates.
Yep. And we'll also be talking about Ubisoft. It seems that they are moving away from their AAA release business model and are looking to take their franchises into live services. I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest.
It's interesting, especially knowing that Ubisoft has a couple of big names and big titles that they often release at a specific interval. But perhaps this is good for them, and we can talk about that later. We're also going to be talking about several remakes, reboots of things that you never thought would be rebooted. We spoke about this one a while back, and that is the Powerpuff Girls live action series. Yeah. Which is, I still don't know what's happening with that, but apparently it has been ordered, as in they actually ordered a pilot for it. So it is happening. It's not a rumor. It's not fake. It's actually happening. And another remake that I absolutely did not see, and it is the Wizard of Oz. Quite interesting. Is it the classic that warrants a remake, or is it not? Join in the conversation as usual. 4215 Ittisalat or do. We'd love to hear from you, and also slide into our DMs. We can talk over there at Pulse 95 Radio, and all of that and so much more only here at Pulse 95.
Make a hot cuppa and relax. It's Afternoon Karak with Aisha Al-Mazmi and Mikhail Atiyah
on Pulse 95.
I think a lot of people forgot the fact that Oscars was supposed to take place this month, but it got delayed because there was really not enough movies to be nominated. A lot of things got delayed and reshuffled here and there. But now we finally got the shortlisted announced categories for the Oscars. And it seems really just like, it feels like a full list of movies maybe you've watched, maybe you didn't, or you probably have to watch because it's super exciting.
The thing is, when I was going through those movies, okay, yes, when it comes to documentaries and foreign film, it is very rare that you go through it and think, yeah, I've watched at least one or at least 4 or 3 of these movies. So a lot of them are very new. So just like you said, absolutely correct that this is a chance for people who haven't watched them to go through them and see them.
I always look at the international film category because we know, for example, Parasite was the movie that took like 4 Oscars last year.
The thing is about Parasite is that even before it was nominated for an Oscar, okay, granted, yes, we know that unfortunately whatever is popular in the US becomes popularized across the entire world. But even before it was on the Oscars and whatnot, there was a good chunk of people who knew about that movie. I mean, I heard about it way before they were talking about it during the whole Oscars buzz. And I'm not trying to show off or anything. I'm just saying that there are those movies in particular that even though they might be a niche to some people, but they are quite popular, such as Parasite. And I feel like Parasite was I'd say an exception to these documentaries and foreign films. I'm not saying that they're bad or anything. It's just that usually not a lot of people would, would favor these type of movies. If I remember correctly, I'm trying to remember the name of the movie. It was a Lebanese one. I think it was Kafr Nahum in Arabic.
I don't know.
I'm not sure about how to pronounce it in English. I'm sorry about that. But that was also another instance of an international movie that was very popular among all circles and across the entire world. But now I'm looking at the rest of the list, including visual effects and original score and music. This is where we find a lot of those films and movies that we probably have come across and we have watched before. For example, even to see Birds of Prey and the Emancipation of Harley Quinn, obviously Mank, and is available in several categories already. We've got Love and Monsters, Bloodshot, Soul, Tenet. Tenet's also repeated, several times. And it also makes me wonder, will Tenet actually be listed or be a runner-up for Best Picture? And if it is, no offense, I know I haven't watched it yet. I know that.
Whoa.
But should it really be up there? Let's just pretend. I know you were on the fence about the movie. You enjoyed it, but we also felt that it was a bit convoluted.
It's not for everybody. That's the problem.
Exactly. So my question is, if 2020 went the way it was supposed to be, when I'm talking about movie-wise, if all the movies that were supposed to come out actually came out in 2020, would Tenet still be a runner-up for Best Picture? Now, we didn't say it was announced as a Best Picture. I don't think they will ever announce that yet. But I'm saying if it was a runner-up for Best Picture,
it wouldn't be a contender.
Should it be there? Again, no offense to all Christopher Nolan fans, but should it even be there?
I think it should just at least be nominated, but
for something else maybe, but not Best Picture. Like maybe because it's up there for original score.
I think original score, original screenplay, because it is, again, there's nothing like it out there. But Best Picture, it will have to really depend on just the mass appeal, and it didn't really have that.
So what I'm guessing is it will be part of Best.
But just don't get upset if it does win Best Picture.
If it does win, it just shows you that, again, the Oscars are quite out of touch. But it also means that were there really no movies that came out in 2020 that can easily dethrone Tenet? I'm not saying that Tenet is going to win. Maybe it will, maybe it not. But still, were the options just not there for the Academy?
It's been a weird year, and I think Tenet is it's the only exceptional blockbuster film out there. And but then again, it could just be a full 180, and it might do like another Parasite situation where the most underrated film is going to be at the top of the spotlight, which would be a great like underdog story on its own.
Absolutely. I have great news for you. I'm not sure if you read the list thoroughly.
It's a lot.
It is a lot because again, it's a short list, so it's not even the final list yet. Obviously, it's not announced yet. But guess what's going for original song?
What is it?
The Eurovision Song Contest, The Story of Fire.
It has to win. It has to win.
It's up
it has
there.
to win. Please. I love that movie. I watched it twice.
I knew it.
I have Volcano Man in my Spotify. I can't get enough of that, honestly. plays it needs to be like at least
we don't
top
know.
5.
Maybe it will be shortlisted or maybe it won't be. We just need to wait and see when the actual list comes out. Tell us, guys, which movies, what was snubbed, basically. That's what we need to know. We keep using this word, but we all know that there are some movies out there that are often overlooked just because, for God knows what reason. Hollywood Wasta, as Mikhail keeps on telling us. So text us 4215, Etisalat Urdu, and tell us all about that. Now we move on to the CW and them greenlighting a TV show we did not expect to be greenlit, and that is the Powerpuff Girls live show. Let's talk about that coming up next right here on Pulse 95.
Make a hot cuppa and relax. It's Afternoon Karak with Aisha Al-Mazmi and Mikhail Atiyah.
On Pulse 95.
I won't deny that there was a time in my life when I sat down and just passionately watched the Powerpuff Girls. It was personally one of my favorite shows on Cartoon Network. I'd say the classic is always the classic, and I know that Cartoon Network back in 2016 rebooted it, but it never really lived up to the classic charm of the original. And now CW, there has been talk since August to work on a Powerpuff Girls live action series. The synopsis of this show would have them be in their 20s, who with the girls, sort of resenting that they have wasted their childhood fighting crimes. And boy, I think that's something I think even before we did show some interest, but again,
Who's we?
Maybe I was the only one.
Who's we? I remember being just very confused about this.
It's like too much. Like you don't take something so innocent and pure and
no, it's
try
not
to turn
innocent
into...
and pure. It's just that it's just unnecessary. If you think about it, I just really do not see a reason why this should be rebooted or even turned into a live action. Some things should remain animated and should remain as they are.
Yeah.
I probably, maybe if it was to remain animated and they just did something in their 20s, I might have accepted it. But since the release of Winx Club by Netflix, and I saw how sometimes things that are a cartoon or animated cannot be translated into live action.
I mean, anime live action movies always are terrible.
Exactly. Some things are just meant to be animated. You cannot, in any way, shape, or form, translate that and turn it into a different form.
Well, it's already too late. CW has greenlit a pilot episode for this live action series, which makes me really want to watch it.
We are going to watch it.
What's that term? It's like it's a train wreck, but you can't stop looking at it.
Basically, exactly that. And it's just like, who thought of this? Why?
This is CW. They make the weirdest shows.
True.
They just greenlight anything.
They greenlight anything, and they know that everything they make is a train wreck, and yet they keep it for the next 7, 8, 9, 10 seasons, and people
I don't know
hate
who's
it.
watching. Maybe like there are 100 fans only or something like that.
I genuinely don't understand this, and I'm just terrified to watch this because, again, they're talking about having them become disenfranchised 20-something-year-olds. And again, if you have seen anything from the Winx Club, you could see how terrible it could be when you take a story that was not meant to become a live action and turn it into a live action.
Actually, it reminds me of Titans. You ever watched that one?
But actually, Titan is actually very successful. So that's just you hating it, because Titan is actually a lot of people, including fans, are actually big fans of Titan, and also big fans of I'm trying to remember the other one. Can't remember. But yeah, that's actually a bad example because I've seen a good amount of people.
So what if this live action series could be like Titans? It could be like pretty decent.
Please, for the love of God, please watch Winx Club.
Winx Club.
Watch it. I want you to go and watch the actual animation for when we were
Winx. I know Winx.
Yeah, go watch the actual Netflix adaptation. I'm sorry, Netflix, but this was not it. I haven't seen anybody actually talk positively about this TV show, and you will know what I'm talking about the moment you see the cast. Like, no offense to each actress and actor.
Yeah.
They're probably really good. But it's just that this entire project was bad, and I'm worried that this is going to be the same, and I have a feeling it will be the same.
Imagine they actually try to actually design the characters with still like the cartoony features with the no hands and, you know.
I don't think that's ever going to happen.
That's a little too much.
They're not that dense where they're going to do that, Mikhail. I don't
But
think
imagine.
I am not going to imagine it. I am good.
Oh my
I am
God.
fine right now. We're going to be taking a short break and moving on to a rumor. We got to go fast. That's hint, hint. We're going to be talking about Sonic, but not particularly Sonic. We're going to be talking about his friend Knuckles and the fact that there are rumors that none other than Jason Momoa has been approached to voice him. Stay tuned for that and much more right here on the Afternoon Karak.
Speculation, gossip, or hoax. Rumor has it.
Do you know what should be nominated for Best Picture?
I know what it is.
I haven't watched
and I know
it,
the
but
internet,
I know.
And I know the whole internet wants it to happen just for the sake of a meme.
Again, I haven't watched it, but I'm pretty sure it deserves it.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Definitely.
A true masterpiece.
Definitely. I mean,
A
again,
redemption story.
do you remember what I told you last year?
What?
That the only reason where they remember how the Academy Awards had to change the rules and extend the deadline and like basically change a lot of things.
Because they were worried that Sonic would be the only
Exactly, because they knew that Sonic is just going to sweep the floor and
best visuals, best story, original screenplay.
best everything. So they're worried and they're like, no, we can't have that. That's just going to be too much for Hollywood. They're not prepared for that thing. So they were like, no, we need to change our rules and allow other movies to be, eligible.
Now that's a conspiracy I believe in.
That's not a conspiracy one, it's the truth, Mikhail.
It's facts.
It is the
It's facts.
absolute fact. But now we move on to something that is less factual and more of a rumor. And that is the Illuminati is reporting that their sources claim that Jason Momoa has been approached to voice Knuckles the Echidna. Now here's my on the fence kind of thing. I can hear him. I can hear Jason Momoa as Knuckles. He's capable of doing it. They do have a similar voice. But I'm also team bring back the actual voice actors and actresses from the animation and have them voice their characters even when it's a live action. Because you remember what happened with Scooby-Doo, right? That was a mess. Now here's the thing. We know that there are a lot of actors and actresses that can actually nail the voice acting thing. For example, we do have Ben Schwartz who plays Sonic in the live action and is pretty good at what he's doing. But also, again, remember what happened with Scooby-Doo and the whole conundrum with it and the fact that even when we listened to them in the movie, they just felt wrong. Remember that?
Yeah, there's this whole Hollywood marketing technique where they pick actors just based on the name over the talent. So don't forget getting a voice actor who's fit for the job. Get that marketing actor name so that you can put it up on the movie posters in the cinema. Because like, whoa, Jason Momoa is in this. I have to watch this now. It's just basic practice in Hollywood. If they are gonna pick him, he has to be right for the job. Because when I think of Knuckles, I think of a big macho like, hey, Sonic, oh no.
But the thing is, I can actually hear Jason Momoa as Knuckles.
It could work.
It could work.
I just don't want it to be a marketing ploy.
Marketing gimmick, absolutely. So that's why I'm completely on the fence on this. As much as I love Jason Momoa and as much as I believe that he is capable of doing it, I'm not sure if it's the best idea. It could be or it could not be. So it's a 50-50 chance.
What matters is that Jim Carrey will be back
Obviously.
as Dr. Egg. Is this right?
Dr. Eggman.
Dr. Eggman.
Dr. Egg.
I'm thinking of Doc Ock for some reason. Sorry. My mind is all over
Understandable.
the
We
place.
speak a lot about Doc Ock and the whole Spider-Man saga.
Yeah.
But yeah, he is reprising his role, so same as James Marsden and also Ben Schwartz. Now we just need to wait and see if this is actually true or not as we cut closer to the movie. We're going to be taking a short break, and coming up next is the sports headlines and more stories, more fun right here on the Afternoon Karak.
Make a hot cuppa and relax. It's Afternoon Karak with Aisha Al-Mazmi and Mikhail Atiyah.
On Pulse 95.
So Ubisoft is actually making a very big announcement, and they claim that they will try to steer clear or try to stay away from their AAA games, as in they're not planning on basically depending on them from now onwards. And now it makes us wonder, is that a smart idea, especially knowing that, Ubisoft is behind so many big names, such as the Assassin's Creed series. And we know that every 2 or 3 years, and there's a specific interval, we can expect a new Assassin's Creed title. So if they stop doing that, what are they actually going to be planning on making?
That means if they're not going to be releasing their typical AAA game releases like Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs, and all of this, it means that they're probably going to be going for something that is long-lasting, and that is game as a live service. Now, a lot of gamers don't like this term. Matter of fact, they think it is the worst kind of business model to practice, because usually when you come out with a game as a live service, you're getting a slice of an experience that's still being worked on, that's still being refined. A big example of a game that was successful is Ubisoft's Rainbow Six Siege. When that came out, it was a mess. It was barren in terms of content and, mechanics. But over time, as they've supported it and provided content and seasonal passes and added all sorts of new operators and maps, now it's become like a staple competitive shooting game. And I think that's what they want to go for. They want to go for one piece of a franchise and refine it over time and have it last at least 5 to 10 years. Something similar to Destiny 2, or even what Microsoft doing with Halo Infinite. But I worry this might not, rub off very well with gamers, because there is plenty of bad examples of games as a live service, like Anthem. That was terrible.
Yeah.
Now, Cyberpunk technically feels like a game as a live service, because we got it. We got it sort of. I know.
That's a different story.
But if I have to buy a game day one and wait a couple of months or a year for the roadmap of content to sort of drip over time, I'm not sure if I would like that, to be honest.
But look at Final Fantasy, for example. I know that's an MMORPG. I understand that. But at the same time, it kind of has a similar concept where they're looking at it, into the future. They're not talking about right now. All they have to think about is creating a narrative that can last that long, because that is what sustained Overwatch for as long as possible. It was the story. It wasn't until eventually the story just felt like it was just complete fan service and it wasn't solid enough that people started saying, no, we don't want to play this anymore. And the amount of players who played it just dropped, exponentially. Also was the fact that there were some mechanics some people were very tired of, and some unfair stuff going on. So they're like, we don't want to stick to it. But look at League of Legends. Look at, again, Final Fantasy. Look at, I'm trying to remember the other game. It was similar to Overwatch. That came a little bit after Overwatch. That kind of had the similar nuances. How could I forget the name?
It came out at the same time as Overwatch?
No, a bit after Overwatch. A couple of years later. I forgot the
Paladins?
name. No, not
Paladins.
No, again, it's well-known. People are playing it. I've never heard of Paladins, Mikhail. No offense to you. But I'm talking about a well-known game. Forgot the name of it, but I'll remember.
I'm trying to retract my memory as well.
Me too. It's all about the narrative. The narrative has to be able to last that long. Again, I keep talking about League of Legends and Final Fantasy. They have that. They keep on sustaining it.
If it's done right, correct.
If it's done correctly, even Fortnite, even though it doesn't really have a narrative, but it has events that keep on bringing people back to it. It has things that pulls people back. Yes, I know that a lot of games, even single-player games, you play the game and you're like, okay, I'm done with it right now. But if you look at all these massive MMORPGs, people keep on coming back to them. Yes, there are people who are obsessed with them and play them every single day, but there are ones who come back every, couple of months, once a year, twice a year, because there's something new. And they play that out and they leave. So that's what they need. They need customer and fan loyalty to whatever upcoming title they're working on to bring back people and create a legacy out of it.
Makes sense. But then again, I don't know if Ubisoft really will follow through with this type of game, this business model. The biggest problem with the game as a live service is the long periods of basically waiting for new content to come out.
Yeah.
And if you have to wait like 2-3 months for a new map or something that enriches your multiplayer or your squad experience, then people are gonna leave pretty quick, and it's shown time and time again.
It's the narrative. It's the narrative and fan loyalty. If you are a fan of something, you will keep coming back to it, even though it took them an entire year and a half to insert something new.
So I imagine Assassin's Creed Infinite or something.
I mean, look at The Sims. Look at people who play The Sims. I am one of them where I just play once or twice every 2-3 months, and I just play for hours and hours and hours, and I just get the new expansion pack. That just draws me back in. So that's all they have to think about is what do our customers actually want, and not what do the executive want, and they need to just learn their lesson from that. We're going to be taking a short break, and we'll be back to talk about another unexpected reboot, and that is The Wizard of Oz. Are you a fan of it? Stay tuned for that. We're going to have a very big and long conversation about that right after the short break.
Make a hot cuppa and relax. It's Afternoon Karak with Aisha Al-Mazmi and Mikhail Atiyah.
On Pulse 95.
How do you feel about The Wizard of Oz?
You know, I don't mind it. It is an American classic. And
absolutely.
I've grown to even learn more about the author himself and the books behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And I did realize one thing, that the movie doesn't truly depict the tone and themes of the books entirely. It is actually the movie itself that came out in 1939 that I would say brought a template of how to, adapt fantasy books and novels to make it family friendly, to make it somewhat of a mass appeal, because the real world of Wizard of Oz is a lot more darker than you think.
But don't you think that was the point of the story, that it looked at this, even as a movie, it gave the facade of something that is, family
whimsical
friendly
and magical.
Exactly, but just like you said, the actual themes and the tone of the movie is actually quite dark. You just need to read between the lines. It's like you said. Apparently now there's going to be a second chance for people to experience that with an upcoming reboot. This one I did not see coming at all. It's going to be at work at New Line Cinema, which is a well-known production studio, and it's going to be directed by Nicole Castle. And what's interesting is that Nicole actually worked on Watchmen, and if you know Watchmen, you know how dark that can get. So she says that she's incredibly honored to bring this to the screen, and she says that this gives her the opportunity to examine the original themes, the quest for courage, love, wisdom, and home. And see, I'm just wondering, will it go that dark as well? Because again, Nicole did work on Watchmen, and like you said, it has those tones. So I'm really interested to see how she will play around with it. Will she do the same thing where it makes it look like it is a very family-friendly story, but has those uncanny, weird, strange tones in between?
I'd love for that to happen, to give it that darker shade, similar to the books, and it would be so refreshing. I think we've all grown watching Wizard of Oz, and I think we're at an age where we can embrace something a little bit more mature for the world, and just to be a little bit more true to the author's stories.
I just want more songs. I'm excited about that. I love my musicals, so I'm very excited about this. So this is the sort of reboot that at the beginning I was like, do I really want this? But now I'm like, maybe that could work out.
We can embrace it.
We can embrace it, absolutely. Not the Powerpuff Girls, though. I refuse to embrace that one. We're going to move on to our next story, and that is Disney is shutting down the production company that created Ice Age, called House Blue Sky. Now, is that appropriate or is that something sad? I'm going to stick with that is actually okay, and I'll tell you my exact reasons after this short break.
Make a hot cuppa and relax. It's Afternoon Karak with Aisha Al-Mazmi and Mikhail Atiyah.
On Pulse 95.
So earlier, right before the break, I was talking about, or at least I mentioned that Disney is planning to shut down House Blue Sky. That is an animating house similar to Pixar that they acquired during their many acquisitions. And one of the most notable movies that came out of this production company is Ice Age. And the reason why I say it's fine is because they have Disney Animation and they also have Pixar.
Yeah.
Do they really need something that is similar to Pixar?
Well, I won't deny that the Ice Age franchise is quite popular, as well as I think they worked on Spies in Disguise, as well as Rio, but it is a shame to hear a whole animation studio shutting down. That means that about over 450 employees are going to be losing jobs. My concern is that some of these talented individuals do get absorbed into other Disney animation studios.
Absolutely. Like, this is my biggest fear as well. Like, I'm less sad about the fact that the actual animating studio is gone, but rather the actual employees and animators that will they be given a second chance? Are they being absorbed into Disney animations and taken into Pixar as well? Because I really hope they do. Otherwise, they just lost 400 talented people.
Yeah.
So it is super important for Disney perhaps to move them around, but we also know that it's a pandemic. So since they realize that perhaps, we already have enough studios, this is one that is, least hurtful to give away or let go of. So I'm thinking, unfortunately, there's a good chance at least a good chunk of them, or at least most of them, are probably gone right now, which is, again, very upsetting, especially for us as well as massive animation fans, and also just knowing that there are people out there who are losing their jobs, unfortunately, due to the pandemic. That's just very upsetting, and it's a very upsetting reminder to hear every once in a while.
What's not gone, though, is the Ice Age franchise.
Oh, no.
Because it's still going to be, it's going to have a sort of a Disney Plus exclusive being made by 20th Century Animation, which, now that I look back, the writings were on the wall all along.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Disney was planning to cut budgets and cut costs and remove Blue Sky Studios sooner than we thought. So now that we're getting the official announcement, I just wish all the best to all the animators, the talented people at that studio. Hopefully they will find work and better opportunities after this ordeal.
And what is up for you guys after this segment is Aisha and Mikhail Suggest, so stay tuned for that. Do not turn off your radios, do not turn off the app, or we're going to be back very, very soon.
It's almost 5 p.m.
That was Afternoon Karak.
For dessert?
Aisha and Mikhail suggest...
We're wrapping up the hour here on the Afternoon Karak, and don't forget, if you love what we do here and you miss out on any of our discussions, you can support us by subscribing to our YouTube channel on Pulse 95 Radio. Also, tune in to our daily podcast right after the show on any of the platforms of SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Rami. Just type in Afternoon Karak and enjoy. But before we head out, we want to urge you guys, one of the once-in-a-year event here in Sharjah is taking place, The Exposure. We have none other than my lovely co-hosts, Aisha Mazmi, Hani Balkis, and Rania Al-Sadi, hosting from today to they've hosted today. They're going to be hosting tomorrow, and the day after at the event is going to be held at the Sharjah Expo Center. Renowned photographers, world-class exhibitions, workshops, seminars, all of that good stuff. But make sure that you book your tickets at exposure.ae. Again, that is exposure.ae.
I mean, earlier this morning, we had these fantastic discussions. Again, I'm not even joking when I'm telling you that at some point, all three of us had goosebumps because we had this beautiful conversation with two photographers, Giles Dooley and Elia. They were fantastic. They just taught us all kinds of things. It's not only about the technical things or how they started or whatnot. It's about the emotions they get, the messages they're trying to convey.
Passion.
Exactly, true passion. I mean, I remember asking Elia this question because he's a landscape photographer, and he's talking about how it takes some time to take specific photographs, and some things may take years to capture. And I told him that, do you need patience for that? Like, where do I get the patience? Because I have absolutely no patience. He says it doesn't grow on you, but rather because it becomes an obsession, like you want to get the best picture, you want to convey a specific message, you want to take this story and show it to the entire world, that you end up being patient. And all these amazing discussions you can also have with the photographers themselves, because you're hanging around their exhibitions, and also there are workshops and lots of seminars one-on-one talks, so many of them. Just check out both the schedule, the workshop schedule, and also check out the actual exhibitions that are free for you to attend. And with that, we run out of time, unfortunately, but we make way for Anna Schofield and Big House, the amazing duo of Yalla Home. We're gonna leave you guys with a throwback only here on Pulse 95.
If you liked this episode of Afternoon Karak, drop a like and subscribe.
Pulse 95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.